So here we are, guys, the second to last chapter of Bleach, and I know a lot of us thinking that this was going to be the finale to the series, but no, we've actually got one more chapter coming into it, which I was really happy to hear about. There's at least one more to kind of wrap everything up, and alongside we got this really nice color page of Ichigo, like seeing there, and also as well talking about that there is a special announcement that will be concluding in the next chapter of Bleach, and there will also as well be apparently another important announcement. So we're going to be getting two announcements coming into the next Bleach stuff, which I've already done a video about that. I'm going to talk about that in already in the video down below, so you can go and see that. And we're going to go into and talk about a 10-year time skip in Bleach, and let's just go and cut straight into it already right now with 685 Perfect End, which already that title triggered me, because you know full fucking well that this isn't no fucking perfect end. This isn't exactly what we saw with Kubo exactly imagined, because we know that fucking Jump cancelled this series, and we know it's full out fucking bullshit. So we get to see immediately Kyoraku is there with Ukitake's grave, and I gotta say that was kind of emotional, just seeing him just sitting down next to his monument, having a drink and all that, just saying we're so close and all that to wrapping up, and it's just one more block to pay, then that'll be fine. It's seeing now we've been able to pick up the pieces since then and be able to fix Soul Society after everything that's happened throughout the time, and it's everyone had to go away for the new captain that's being announced throughout the entire series. Yeah, come right now for the new captain there for the 13 Core Guard squads. And we kind of really honestly what this chapter was showing what exactly all the captains have been up to since then. Finally we get to see Mayuri having another change with this weird goat horn shit. I don't even, honestly, Mayuri, at this point, I don't even know what the fuck you're doing anymore that. And we get to see as well, the little baby Nemu or Nemuri that is there with him, and she's just yes, right away, Master Mayuri, and it's he's just stop shouting like that, you little bastard, that. And turns out she's not obviously, since she's way too fucking young at this point to be a lieutenant, but the other guy as well is a lieutenant now, in part of Mayuri's squad, so that's cool. Meanwhile we see with Kenpachi, he's there immediately, and all his fucking guys are bending on his ass to him, apart from Ikaku there. He's just saying he's just the only guy that kind of treats him kind of pretty much the same after everything, and it was just after all that's happened, it's just they have a big respect to him, and they did use a little joke saying listen and all that, the only reason I lost my sense of direction was because of Yachu, and now that she isn't here I can't get lost anymore. And it's no, you still get lost after everything. You still got a very shit sense of direction after everything. Kenpachi, so don't try and kid yourself after all of that that. It was just you're not just after this now, you just cannot do it anymore. And we find out that Iba is a brand new captain taking over from what we see with Komamura, and he's training already. And I kind of like his new kind of design. He's got this sleek pompadour around, he's got a scar around his face, and it was a kind of shame because we never got to see anything of him at all. we never finally got to see what his exactly abilities are, meeting up with Hisagai and specifically saying we after all this 10 years of peace and all that, we're finally we hadn't had any kind of distress since then. And even as well when we saw Hisagi there with seeing there with Kensei, it's finding out he's oh, I have a Bankai already, and it's just straight up that was going to be something that was shown, and they made a joke of it. It's I hadn't had a chance to use my Bankai, come on, kind of making it into a joke after everything. And I'm wow, really, that's sort of something that you're going to be doing with that. And finding out another captain is Isane, which I was okay, I knew that she if anything happened to Unohana that she would have been the one to succeed afterwards. And I'm Isane is okay, but it's come on, she's fucking nothing really as a captain. So after everything that we find out with the brand new captains and all that, we know that Iba, Isane, and Lisa are now become brand new out of all of them captains. And I was okay, that's kind of interesting after everything that's kind of happened throughout it, and alongside with Rukia as the captain of the 13th squad that, as finally inheriting after everything, which I was really happy. That was something I wanted to see exactly right at the end, is that she became immediately a captain. That was something that we see. A lot of people was thinking that Ichigo was going to become a captain at some point. Personally, I didn't think so that he was going to go there. Like, I think he would have been at Soul Society, but clearly how they've been acting is towards it. It's like, no, there is no way, like, you know, like, Ichigo's not there, and since, like, they haven't mentioned anything about him being there at all in front of the entire chapter, you know, I think, like, Ichigo kind of went back to Soul Society and he's lived life, and it's kind of curious to see, like, what's happened in 10 years since then, like, what kind of jobs have they got, how has everyone moved on with their lives. I'm very curious about that, and it kind of, like, goes to show as well with the captains as well. It's like, you know, we're probably, either they hadn't lasted Bankai, or they did the test, and it was like, whether or not, like, I think, like, out of most of them, I think, like, from what we know, I think, like, Isane is the kind of person that would do the test, like Iba, like that, because, like, you know, the ways to do it is, like, you gotta have a Bankai, you gotta do that test, or you kill another captain, and we know already that they needed to fill in some spots, so pretty sure a lot of them did learn. I'm pretty sure, like, Iba would learn, like, Bankai, but we probably never got to see that. Same thing with, like a lot of people have seen, like, Lisa, Isane. I mean, that would be pretty interesting to go see, like, her, but then as well, when you didn't really know exactly too much what Shikai did in the end, so it's like, there was a bunch of fucking people and all that we never really got to see at the end, but then again, it's like, you know, what can we do at this point? And ending right on the end of the chapter, after seeing, like, Rukia finally becoming like a captain, right there, it's like we finally, like, there's some identical, like, senses and all that like with, like, your watcher's Ryatsu is, like, admitted and all that, so there's something on the same wavelength as him from 10 years ago. Now the question is and all that, what exactly is that? And I can fully just say, like, well, that's probably going to be is that since, like, we saw Aizen getting absorbed into him, I think it's pretty safe to say that, like, Aizen perhaps, like, somehow, like, came out of the rock and all that. Since he is immortal, and, like, perhaps he became the Soul King? Like, that could be, like, what we've got there. So, honestly, like, I think, like, Aizen did, in fact, become the Soul King, and maybe now that's sort of how we've had, able to have this piece for so long, and it's just only his Ryatsu activated till then. I honestly feel like how they definitely, that they're building this up is, like, you know, there's something going on, and I think this would be concluded there. And a lot of people saying this could be hints at a sequel manga. Like, honestly, I don't know. It's just like, unless that's a thing that they would go into with another manga, like, with, like, oh, now, like, Aizen's God and all that, pretty much Soul King. It's like, what, that would be the thing. But it's like, I don't know. Like, honestly, it's, like, very hard to say about it, but we'll have to wait and see, honestly, where it's going to be turning up. But, yeah, with the last chapter coming out, I personally don't think there is going to be a sequel manga. I know a lot of people probably want that, but I feel like after, like, the Quincy's, which was kind of the big thing, like, for a lot of people, I feel that's it. I mean, I wish it had its true ending, which it should have, but just calling, like, 685 a perfect end, like, I don't know, it's just like, I felt like that was just a giant fuck you that was. It was like, no, because this isn't a perfect ending. It's rushed. It's fucking, like, ridiculous that we go through all this. Like, we've clearly seen characters, like, come, like, who are now captains, and we've never really had a lot of time. Like Lisa, I'm sure we would have saw a lot more time. Or, like, the Visors did a lot of fucking all. Like, we didn't even get to see, like, out of all of them and all that, like, we didn't see, like, how many Bankais were left out, how many, like, questions were left to answer. We don't know how the fuck happened to Kira. We don't, like, there's so much stuff and all that, like, that was just missed out or skipped or just, like, skimmed around. So, yeah, that's pretty much, you know, I'm just going to end it off, like, pretty much there with the chapter. I enjoyed it for what it was, like, to be fair and all that. Like, I know, like, there was issues with the chapter, but it's like, it was definitely this, especially probably this last chapter, and maybe the you know, the next chapter after that is going to be, like, with this one, is definitely an epilogue. That's what it's trying to be, and seeing, like, this is conclusion, but it's definitely trying to build up a little bit of hype and all that. So at the end, if they're like, Aizen pretty much got what he wanted and all that, it's like, oh, I'm now Soul King, then yeah, I guess, like, good for him. But we could see it could be something to, like, a sequel. But then as well, we have got these announcements coming up, so anything can happen. Honestly, I think everyone knows what they want. They want an anime. That's just to stay straight up what everyone wants. But, you know, like, I've already said it. It's just like, I'm not going to say any more about it because it's going to jinx us. So, yeah, I don't know if I don't love the epilogue. It was needed, but it's just, I don't know, it's just it calling the ending. I'm definitely happy with Rukia is now captain. I'm really happy with that. And seeing where everyone's gone to, like, captains, like, I've never really had any affection for really Asane, or Iba, or, like, Lisa, like, I never really had any affection for these guys, so I was like, oh, okay, you know, that's fine and all that, and, like, I did really like the little bit with Kyoraku at the start, with, like, him paying respects to, like, you know, to Ukitake. I really did like that on the grave, and we do know, but the question, like, as always and all that, is where the fuck is our main character? Like, our main character was not even in the main chapter, so probably next week we are going to see what Ichigo's been up to for the past 10 years. Like, what's he working, like, same thing. Did he hook up with anyone at that point? Since at that, like, in that time right there, like, Ichigo should be, like, obviously be in his mid-20s. So that's going to be interesting to see that Ichigo will be a man then. Like, that would be really interesting to finally see, like, you know, Ichigo has already become an adult, and like I believe he'll be like, since I think in the times like in the start of the series he was 15, and then during the time skip he was 17, so at this point now he should be about 27, 26, I believe. Like, I'll have to wait and see, but I want to see, like, Ichigo with a beard. I want to see Ichigo with, like, a little bit of stubble there. I want to see, like, a little bit of, like, longer hair. I want to see a fucking kid, alright? Give me a fucking kid there. I want to see a little fucking wee little bastard running around. That's what I want to see, alright? I want to see that going around. And since, like, Ruki's there, like, if it's Arahime, fine. Like that, like, you know, I've not had too much affection for Arahime, but it's like, yo, let her, like, yo, Ichigo, slap that ass. Like, go in, like, fucking full dry and hump that shit. You better be doing it. I don't want to be seeing that you just been running around like, oh, you know, just, I don't care. Like that. Nah, you've had 10 years to fucking slam that soil. Go in and fertilize it. Go in straight away. So, like, so yeah, I don't know, I just feel weird about this chapter, because, like, again, it's like, I've been very bummed with Bleach for a while, where it's just like, I've been really depressed that it's been ending, and, like, this finale is like, I like it, and at the same time, don't, but then as well, it does add some interesting stuff with the You Watch stuff, but I definitely think that's Aizen. Like, I think that's, like, I don't think Aizen got done dirty like that, so we're gonna wait and see. We're gonna wait and see, but I don't know, I don't feel like scoring this chapter, because, like, it's just, like, the consequences that made it up to here, so, definitely, I don't know, I might do that for the last 2 chapters where I might not just give a score to it, but I'm going to end it off there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. What did you think about this second to last chapter of Bleach? And we're always going to end off the video. Fuck you, Jump. That's going to how we end it. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.